G'day everyone, Duckphil here. Welcome to another replay from the Korean ladder. We're going to be seeing two fantastic players here that are going to, well, hopefully amaze and dazzle us with some fantastic PvZ action, and we'll hopefully, definitely, I don't know, one of those, take your pick, but we'll see this game go the distance. As you can see, it's a bit of a long replay, but no trouble with that. Going to do it anyway. Love the long replay. Speaking of replays, this was sent in by Kai Tan. I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you very much for sending in this particular replay. Kai Tan found this one cruising around the internets and found this particular replay between these two fantastic players. Make sure if you have your own replays from your own gaming, or even if it is from some pros, send it on through to me and I'll try and get it casted if I can. It's I've got actually a few in the queue at the moment, so I'm trying to get them out as fast as I can. But enough of that. These players here, this Zerg down the bottom right hand side needs no introduction at all. And up the top right hand side is a blue Protoss by the name of Alice, but I can assure you that this is actually eSHongUn, who is now on team eShongUn. I was about to say Prime like I did in that previous video, but no, he is recently announced that he's on eShongUn, and it's a fantastic acquisition from there. He's a really good Protoss player. He's been to, I believe, the semi-finals of GSL at one point, so that's certainly something that has given him a lot of confidence. And recently, especially with joining the new team, he's going to be able to hook in and get a lot of practice going. Of course, eShongUn has some really good members on their team, so hopefully we'll see a great game between these two players. Of course, if you're not playing along with my funny little joke there, this is IMNestea down in the bottom right, the one, the only, the man who just destroys absolutely everything in his path. So we're hopefully going to see this go the distance and have a lot of fun here. But this is, of course, Tal'Darim Malta, which is Forge Fast Expand, very friendly. Of course, some Zerg players would say that 6 pooling or even earlier pooling is possibly a must on this map, just because of the architecture and how easy it is to get a fast expand for a Protoss. You can actually do a 6 pool or something really early and then actually still do a lot of damage. And then even if you don't do a heap of damage, you've obviously set the Protoss back, because to defend against the 6 pool you need to get a pylon in your main, you need to get a cannon in there as well, and it's just a lot of trouble for Protoss to deal with that. So that is one consideration when playing on this map. It is always best to try and scout out with 2 probes. Like if you send, if eShongUn had have actually sent this, the initial scouting probe over here, you'd want to send out a second one to try and just check out what's going on down here as well, just because of that threat of those early pulls, which definitely do come from time to time. I've actually had that happen to myself on the Korean server, where we had a really interesting battle after a 6 pull, and I had to bust out of one base eventually and come back. That was a really cool game. I think that's still in the VODs on my stream over on twitch.tv/duckphillol. That is definitely an occurrence on this map. Of course, this map very favourable to Mutalisk play. You can get a lot of cliff abuse here. You can fly around the sides. There's a lot of area around the sides, and especially behind some of the mineral patches as well. Of course, there's a lot of room back here, which can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. It depends how you actually do your building positioning and that sort of thing. So it can be very scary for Protoss sometimes, but with some good storm usage, some good Archon and Blink play, you can do a really good job there. The one scary thing for Zerg is this middle portion here, where if you get caught out in the middle here, it can just sort of become quite a lot of trouble. You can have a Protoss that gets a number of Colossi out, you can get Storms, and blanketing these sorts of areas here is just a huge bonus for them. So unless you're just amazingly magnificent at spreading out units as a Zerg, that can be a little bit of trouble. So sometimes, just during portions of the game, you do have to be a little bit careful when maneuvering around the map. But as we can see here, we got eShongUn just scouting out with this probe, did finally get inside. In fact, this probe is going to get a minor scout out. Unfortunately, the probe now dying, did get to come in and see a little bit of what was happening. I don't believe, however, that he has seen that the 3rd base was going up. Has he? Okay, he's seen, I think that means that he can see that the rocks are gone, yeah, because the rocks would be around about there, so he has seen that the rocks are gone, probably going to see that IMNestea is taking that third expansion, and probably getting a little bit later. As we can see, the link speed has not even been started by him just yet, so he's not looking to do any sorts of early pressure at all. Of course, trying to bust through this sort of wall is something that is very troublesome to do, but eShongUn, meanwhile, is just going to pick up another 2 gates, making the total 3. A Twilight Council on the way, so he's probably going to look to get that blink up and running. The 3rd and 4th gas as well also going to help. So a little bit undetermined as to exactly what these guys are going to go for just yet. We do have a Roach Warren and an Evo Chamber, standard sorts of things to see at this point. Just, of course, to make sure that the Zerg is prepared to deflect any early sorts of pressure that could come about. It also makes sure that with that Evo Chamber, you can get a couple of spore crawlers up if needed to defend against air. And of course DT. So we'll see if that is going to be the what do you call it, the special of the day here from eShongUn, if he's going to pick up some DTs. He does love Stargate tech, so I'm a little bit surprised that hasn't actually got a single Stargate out just yet, but he is going to chrono boost out that blink, so we could be looking towards a plus 2 blink attack, perhaps off the back of these 6 gates. And if that comes about, IMNestea will definitely have to be prepared. He's going to need a few spine crawlers and perhaps a whole bunch of roaches as well. Just at the moment, though, IMNestea is droning up like crazy. It's like we're watching Rhett or Hydra or someone like that play. Currently up to 63 drones already at the 9-minute mark. 9 minutes, guys. Look at the clock there. That's crazy. He's at the 9-minute mark with that many drones. It's going to be a massive boost to his economy. As we can see, just got a couple of spore crawlers out to defend if the DTs come about. Let's just see what IMNestea has seen so far. Knows that the gas is here. Would love to see him actually come about and try and see what gas is coming along here, just in case he needs to be prepared for something. But he's not going to need to worry just yet, because it looks as if eShongUn is just heading up to the top side here, and he's going to try and get these rocks out of the way to get that 3rd base going down, which can cause a potential timing attack from IMNestea if he so desires to push up with a whole bunch of roaches if he'd like, and maybe if he can get some mutas out, although we don't. Where's the Spire? There it is. Okay, we do have a Spire on the way, so some mutas certainly could run around and cause a little bit of havoc. There's not too much defense in the bases of eShongUn. He's currently sitting on just the 1 cannon at the front door of the natural expansion. He is probably going to put a couple down here at the 3rd base, probably going to make a wall out of gateways, a couple of cannons, and then that'll be all nice and snug. But mutas definitely could run around, but the problem for IMNestea, if he does switch into those mutas a little bit, is going to be these blink stalkers. They can definitely get around the map, cause a bit of damage, and all sorts of things can happen from there. But it looks as if IMNestea is just going to have a little poke. I don't think he's actually going to try and attack just at the moment. There is a very meager force of units here, just a few roaches and a big handful of lings. It's not a massive amount, but a hallucinated phoenix does scout this coming over, does see the roaches moving up towards the top side here, so eShongUn knows that there's going to be nothing coming into the main portion here just as of yet, but there definitely could be something up the top, and as we can see, he's well prepared with a whole bunch of sentries and some stalkers as well. And it looks as if the attack is definitely going to come in here. I'm not sure if this is the best idea. The gateway's providing a big wall there for eShongUn to defend himself, but it looks as if the roaches are going to come through anyway. A force field just down the back there, not actually providing too much of a block on those roaches, but a second does help out, and that is going to be the end of that attack for the moment there. A very weak attack, if I do say so myself. But IMNestea now just picking up a few mutas. We've got a macro hatch just here at the natural expansion, and +1 to the flyer attacks also on the way for those mutas, so they can cause a little bit more damage. We've currently got 9 out at the moment. They're going to head in now and see if they can get a bit of damage done, but eShongUn, being the fantastic player he is, knows the timings and knows that those mutas could be coming through, and has some stalkers prepared. We've got some cannons prepared, only 1 inside the main though, and not to mention there are some pylons just out in the open here, so he may need to be a little bit careful with that, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a trouble here. IMNestea, meanwhile, expanding down to the 6 o'clock position here. These drones almost arriving perfectly on time to catch this hatchery as it pops up. There it is, going to hit that C button and go bam and return that cargo, and then get mining over at that base as well with that gas number 7 and 8, that is really going to be a big boost to his economy there. He's going to be able to either just absolutely produce a whole bunch of mutas if need be, or perhaps he can start looking towards the higher techs. And as we can see, that could be the case here. The infestation pit on the way, so that's going to help out with getting some infestors out, of course. I almost forgot what they were called. But IMNestea perhaps just a little bit worried about an attack coming through here, getting a few more spine crawlers up here. He's already got a whole bunch over here. Let's just have a look at the harvesters. Holy, 100 drones are out for IMNestea. In fact, 102 now. He's starting to just go over the limit here. I think, as far as I understand with Zerg play, you don't really want to push it too far past 90 or so, because that's when you actually start limiting your abilities on the field with your actual military units and such. Of course, IMNestea currently sitting on a total of 24 mutas. We got 34 lings and only 4 roaches. So that's what I'm talking about. Is that he's limited the amount of available units that he can field there and get into battle here. But eShongUn is well prepared for any sort of attack at the moment. He's got these Templar out. They don't have Storm just yet. It is being researched as right now. In fact, it's just about to complete. So he's going to be definitely well off against any sorts of mutas that try and fly by and do some damage in effectively, sorry, just choking on something, effectively turning into a no-fly zone if IMNestea tries to come through. In fact, 4 cannons now are going to help out as well, so that's going to be quite a lot for IMNestea to try and deal with. So what's he going to do? Expand again, keep that drone count up. He's currently at 98 drones, and oh, okay then. Alright, we're going to have just a spine crawler party down here. We've got, how many have we got here? Oh, even more up here. Alright, this is a little bit interesting. We got 1 page, so that's, how much is that? That's 24, plus another 7. So we're currently sitting on 31 spine crawlers here. In fact, a few more just added on as well, so I think that's around about 37. Yep, he's definitely slightly defended just here. He's got a little bit of defense. If you want to try and bust through this, it's going to take quite a while. Still on 101 drones, so he's not letting up on that drone production. eShongUn, in fact, has been whittled down just a little bit. These mutas trying to fly by and getting a cancel on this Stargate. It probably will have to go down. These mutas not giving up, trying to put down that Stargate. There it goes. Not even a cancel there by eShongUn, but it looks as if eShongUn's still going to have to defend against these mutas. There is a whole bunch of them there. There's still quite a decent flock. We've got a total of 15 in that little group there, but they have done a little bit of damage to this third base over here, and it looks as if eShongUn is perhaps going to look to grab a 4th base if he can. But the problem is dealing with these mutas, because of course you need to make sure that your probes are defended. You have to be careful with storms, because that's one thing which I find incredibly frustrating about defending against mutas with storms, is that if you put a storm down here, all your little bros on the ground are also dead as well, so that's not cool at all. But eShongUn, not aware that the mutas were just hiding in the corner there, has actually lost another Stargate. A few Stalkers have to warp in here to try and defend against this. The muta count has been whittled down to around about 12, so he's not got as many on the field. But eShongUn, meanwhile, is going to try and push up against IMNestea, going to deny some of this creep through the middle of the map here. IMNestea going to probably try and counter-attack towards the top third base there of eShongUn, and eShongUn, with no available storms inside here, is probably going to lose some of this position. In fact, maybe he will be able to defend. There is a Colossus there. The muta's not actually trying to target down that Colossus, but it looks as if the Colossus should be able to help out here. These mutas are probably going to get absolutely destroyed. They will fly away. The Roach is just off to the side, coming in for that counter attack, not actually getting too much done as well. So IMNestea just trying to trade some units just at the moment here while he gets his economy into this ridiculously awesome position that it is in. Currently sitting at 93 drones. These bases looking as saturated as you can get them. Even more spine crawlers coming up here at this this 5th base across to the opposite side of the map. And IMNestea is just looking really nice right now. He's currently sitting on a bank of around about 5k minerals. He's got around about 1,000 gas. Unfortunately for him, he has lost most of those mutas though, so he is going to need to invest in some other sort of unit in just a second here. and it looks as if one Templar, unfortunately positioned there, is going to be taken out. Did he get taken out? No, he didn't. Survives with 9 HP. What an absolute champ. The Mutas, meanwhile, flying away, and Hongun's still pushing across the map. He's got this big Stalker Ball here, only a couple of Colossi here. You don't really want to push up with too much more than 3 or 4, sort of depending on what your opponent's composition is. And now it looks as if Hongun is going to try and get into this third base here. He's going to have to deal with a minimum of these 18 spine crawlers that are just here at this third base. So I don't think that's going to be the best idea for him. Has he actually scouted out what's going on? Yes, he has. He's seen the Great Wall of IMNestea with the 63 billion spine crawlers that are just hanging out here. More down towards the 4th base as well. And those extras over at the 5th have also come online as well. So IMNestea is going to lose this one, no doubt about that. The Stalker's definitely in great enough number to actually take down this base here. The drone's burrowing. I'm not sure if Hongun would have seen that, but the drones are not happy at all, just hiding underground for the moment. But the hatchery is being taken out, which is a decent part there. An observer just coming by is not going to be able to help out there. Unfortunately, Hongun not noticing that those drones were down in the ground, but Hongun doing a great job. Let's just have a quick look at his tech. He's currently sitting on the +2 to armor, just on the way here. Got a Mothership coming through as well. Hongun loves a Mothership and a carrier. Hopefully, that's a combination of hopefully and hoping. Just write that one down. Hoping to see Hongun bring out some carriers. He loves that sort of play, and if you watch his stream, it's just over at twitch.tv/Hongun. You can catch him doing all sorts of things with carries. It's very cool to watch, but it looks as if IMNestea is going to lose his 5th base over here. Luckily enough for him, he has a whole fever of Broodlords just over here. That's right, that's our collective noun for Broodlords, a fever of them, because they look exactly like stingrays, and that's what the collective for stingrays is, so we're going to use that. The Broodlords now just pushing across here. We got 17 in total, 7 infestors on the ground, going to be able to provide some fungal growth presence as well, which of course really helps against the Stalkers, which are probably going to be part of the defensive composition of Hongun. But Hongun, meanwhile, just on the other side of the map, he's denied that 5th base and the 4th as well, but unfortunately he's going to lose his natural and possibly his main, where all of the tech is. We just heard the magical sound of the Mothership just warping in here. We got some Templar that'll probably be needed to defend at this particular position here, but the Broodlord count still at 17. We've still got all of these infestors as well. We got roaches and all sorts of things coming along here from IMNestea. He's got +3 to missile attacks coming through as well, so he's going to be doing a heap of damage with all of these roaches as well, and then they're going to be able to take a little bit less damage with that +3 to Carapace as well. The Broodlords, meanwhile, just having a look at what they've got, +2 to air attacks and +1 to the Carapace as well. Hongun going to lose a lot of his tech here. He's got the robotics bay here, we got the Templar Archives, we've got the Twilight Council, the Fleet Beacon as well, and that is not going to be good at all. But we'll see how he decides to engage IMNestea, splitting up the Broodlords. I'm not exactly sure if that's the best idea. But he could be able to pull it off here. We'll see how he goes. But he is laying down some broodling siege towards this 3rd base here. He should be able to take out those cannons. No problems about that. But Stalker's now coming into the mix here. Feedback going off on some of those infestors as well, catching off a couple of them. Fungal growth, meanwhile, revealing all of those units, but a vortex pulled out here from Hongun, sucking down a bunch of those Broodlords. We'll see if a toilet is going to commence, and yes, indeed it is. This gives the advantage of 2 things. One, you'll get the reservation from the Broodlords there, and 2, you'll get the toilet that does that. So that was absolutely huge there from Hongun, taking down a lot of those Broodlords. There's still a few off to the side. This is what I was talking about with this map. You've got a lot of cliffs that can be used for these air units to just sort of sit off the side. In fact, a lot like just aircraft carriers just sitting out to sea, laying down siege from afar. And the Broodlords still cleaning up this base here. The Nexus is still alive. We've got the Fleet Beacon and the Twilight Council still alive for the moment here. How is Hongun going to defend against this big group of Broodlords that's sweeping through? He, of course, does have the Mothership, which does a decent amount of damage. And finally, the Archons and the Stalkers are going to be able to get inside and take care of all of these Broodlords. While all this has been going on, IMNestea has teched up to a he's produced a big group of roaches here, probably going to try and get in here and attack this 4th base of Hongun. The 3rd, meanwhile, the Nexus has been destroyed. Going to need to get that up as soon as possible. A few more roaches inside as well. And here we go. The roaches now moving through from IMNestea. He's going to be able to take out out. He should just take out this one pylon powering all of those cannons almost. That one Artosis pylon is going to not go down just yet. In fact, IMNestea is just going to focus on that Nexus. He's going to be able to take that out with no trouble at all. These 3-3 roaches doing so much damage, but the Stalker's coming by, saying hi, and getting rid of all of those roaches. And now it looks as if eSHongUn is going to try and, wow, he's going to do his own version of IMNestea with his with a big group of those cannons just going to be able to defend this front base here. But he's going to have a little bit of trouble if any more Broodlords come along. Of course, the Broodlords outrange the cannons easily. And but the one thing that IMNestea is having a little bit of trouble with is his gas production. He's currently sitting on 65 harvesters. Remember the days of 102? That seems so long ago. But he's on 65. He's now, there you go. He's actually got a little bit more gas income now with that 7 and 8 extracted down towards the southern side of the map. So he's going to get a little bit more gas coming through, and he should be able to start beefing up that army with a big group of units. But another vortex going down here. A couple of fungals going on for these Stalkers. Unfortunately enough for them, going to jump inside that vortex here. Another Archon Stalker toilet. This should be the death of all of these Corruptors. In fact, that was Corruptors that got caught in that toilet, and the Corruptors with their pretty decent armor are going to actually get away from most of this for the time being if he wants to, but he's not actually going to. Just going to hang off to the side there, finally starting to try and get away with those Corruptors. They will be chased down by the Stalkers, doing their best as their name suggests. And now eSHongUn is going to what tech does eSHongUn have available? He's got the Fleet Beacon, the Twilight Council, of course, so he does have a lot of Stalkers to build. But he doesn't have any. He's still got the Templar Archives up here that didn't get destroyed at all. So he's got the ability to bring in Archons and Templar. That should be enough for the moment to hold back any further IMNestea aggression. But IMNestea has more roaches coming along. His macro superb as always. In fact, both of these guys doing a very decent job. But it looks as if eSHongUn is going to try and push down towards the south again. Archons at the front taking a lot of the damage. They do have +2 to shields and armor, so they will take almost no damage at all during these initial parts of the battle. But storms going on. Look at that. We've got eSHongUn the Weatherman just putting down some storms all over the place, getting rid of all of those drones. The drone count whittled down to 40 drones now for IMNestea. He is actually, he could be in a little bit of trouble. It depends on how he deals with this. He should try and come through and get rid of some of these tech structures here that eSHongUn has left behind. And if he can get rid of some of these, like especially the Fleet Beacon and the Templar Archives, are just huge pieces in the eSHongUn puzzle. And if he can get rid of those, he can claw his way back. But I'm just a little bit worried now. Perhaps we'll see a march of these Spine Crawlers. That would be a very cool way to end the game. But IMNestea is now stuck on 3 bases with only, in fact, nope, we just got 1 extractor mining. Nothing else is mining at the moment for IMNestea. He's got no additional income at all. He's going to need to long distance mine if he does want to get something going. Otherwise, he will need to put a hatch down somewhere probably over here. There are still a few drones available at that bottom base. But eSHongUn himself is also just on 1 base, but he does have this big cannon wall, which should be enough to hold out any roaches at the initial part of their attack. The Mothership has now just popped out, as we saw there, and he's also looking to expand towards the top left-hand side. But we'll see how IMNestea is going to deal with this. I'm not really sure if there is any way that he's going to be able to claw back from here. He is on a supply of 167, but that consists of a lot of roaches, a couple of Broodlords as well. Where did those guys come from? I'm not very sure, but they are still hanging around, and IMNestea trying to take this 3 o'clock base. If he can get that up, we could possibly see him get into a good position here. But he is, I really like him taking this base. It's a lot further away from all of where eSHongUn's position is, so that means if IMNestea, if eSHongUn tries to attack here, he could be able to, IMNestea could be able to push inside this base. But the problem is actually getting eSHongUn to leave the base. As we can see, the Stalkers and all of these Templar and the Archons as well are just going to hang around just for the moment here. But the Roach is now finally sweeping inside. They will be able to clean up the rest of this tech. The Fleet Beacon finally going down. Twilight Council going down doesn't really mean too much, of course, unless this Templar Archive dies. If that dies, that's when you're going to be in a lot of trouble. but we'll see if that happens. But the Roaches now pushing up. They are going to head towards this little tech center just over here. They're probably going to be able to take down the Cyber and the Templar archives there as well, which is going to be a lot of trouble. Spinecrawler party, they are hanging around here at this base. He's trying to get all of these burrowed. It's like people lining up for a nightclub. They're trying to get in, but this Queen Bouncer is just going to stand in the way and finally open up the rope. There we go, putting down a creep tumor. But the problem is, now the cops are coming. There's been a bit of a rowdy nuisance going on at this place, and now eShongUn trying to push in here. We got a bunch of stalkers. They're going to be able to take out some of these spinecrawlers before they get to root, and some of them that have already rooted in the ground have been destroyed now, and now Queen's being assassinated as well. eShongUn doing a great job. Would love to see him just blink back here and start assassinating all of those drones, but the Roach Army now sweeping in from IMNestea should be able to clean all of this up with the help of those spine crawlers as well. And wow, there we go. A Mothership recall, the mass recall used there by eShongUn, and now he's going to bring those guys back, regen the shields, and possibly get a third base effectively up and running. So this game currently looking very weird. We started off over here for eShongUn, but now he's over here, and it looks almost like a standard sort of game. In fact, he's got a cannon, some cannons, forges, and those sorts of things defending the front. So a little bit crazy going on here. But IMNestea still in, I would say, a little bit of hot water here, because he's only on that one base. His bank has been absolutely depleted over all of these very big attacks that he's put on eShongUn, but he does need to get a little bit further on with his tech, because he needs to get something to try and counter all of these Archons and the Stalkers as well. If he can't deal with those, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. But now eShongUn just he's just inspecting the map with this one Stalker. What I would really love to see from eShongUn is a pylon somewhere down here, just so he can reinforce any potential attacks that he tries to commence towards IMNestea's base. Not to mention, IMNestea is actually well defended over at this side, so without any of those really power units, eShongUn won't be able to do too much over there. But a Vortex going down, he's going to try and Archon toilet just a few of the Roaches. There wasn't really too much that got inside. The other Roaches just sitting off to the back, wondering what to do. I'm not sure it's the best idea to try and come in and engage at this. I think he's going to try and get them across before anything else happens. But beautiful storms there from eShongUn. The Archon's inside the toilet as well, cleaning up like crazy toilet paper, crazy blue toilet paper in fact, and more storms going on here from eShongUn. He's doing a fantastic job with all of those. He's just putting them down, getting absolutely ridiculous amounts of damage done. And IMNestea is going to have to retreat. He's been brought down to 97 supply. More Roaches going down. You can bet your house on that, because the Stalkers are going to just chase after them and not let up. The Mothership also chasing as well. We'll have to see how much that plays into the rest of this, because IMNestea now does have this base up here. Another Stalker lineup is going on here. These guys are just trying to get in line and get into the place, because they have needing to defend. And some beautiful, that looks like a flower. That looks very pretty from IMNestea. But what isn't very pretty for him is that this big attack is coming along from eShongUn. We've got Templar, we've got Stalkers, we've got a couple of one Archon, but unfortunately got poked to death. That guy got poked in the eye, and he is no longer with us. But these Stalkers are now going to just slowly whittle away these spine crawlers. Going to get rid of them, and then she'll be able to dispose of this base. And then once again, the only thing left mining for IMNestea will be this base at the 3 o'clock. So we'll see what he's going to do about that. It looks as if IMNestea is going to try and push in here. Probably not the greatest idea. There is the great eShongUn wall of cannons here. He may be able to slip through, though, if he puts on a suit of butter. He may be able to slip past those cannons, but I don't think... Is there enough... I'm pretty sure there's enough room there, especially you get through there and then you're fine to get through here, I think. I don't know. I'm not a StarCraft 2 architect, but definitely could try and push through. It looks as if he's bringing in some lings as well, probably to try and soak up some of the damage. I wonder if there's enough energy here for this Mothership. Yes, there is indeed. There is enough for a Vortex if needed, and here we go. eShongUn is going to try and come back to defend that position. A one Infestor is actually there, helps out with putting down a fungal growth. Some storms going on as well. Here we go. The Stalkers are in trouble, but there they go. Recall just over there, that's not a very big trip, but they did get away from all of that that trouble that they were in with all of those roaches and the fungal growth. But now IMNestea again is still just we're waiting to see if he's going to pull a rabbit out of a hat somewhere, but I don't think he's going to be able to. He does have the double spire, which is back there from earlier on in the game. He's got all of his tech still available, but he just doesn't have the income to actually produce anything of significance. So he's just trying to, looks as if he's trying to get these last possible attacks going. eShongUn, meanwhile, with this third base, is going to pretty much secure his victory. This could be the last battle. I think they're going to engage just up here, like an episode of Star Trek. They're going to engage just here, and then everything is going to get crazy. And here we go. Some force fields from eShongUn. Beautiful work there, locking out some of those, locking out some of the roaches towards the south, and a GG from IMNestea. That was just a fantastic game between these two players. Unfortunately, IMNestea was just not able to capitalize on that massive Broodlord push coming through, cleaning up some of the tech in the gateways of eShongUn, but was then not able to get his economy going, given that eShongUn had traded effectively his mined out main base and the natural for IMNestea's operational mining bases down towards the south and this fifth base that was over here. So great job by eShongUn. He's played towards his strengths really well there, utilizing the map quite a lot with his stalkers and that sorts of thing. No carriers, unfortunately, for us, but I hope you guys enjoyed that one anyway. Make sure you subscribe, leave some comments, say hi on Twitter, all that sort of stuff. I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.